Disclaimer. Everything mentioned about Alex in the present day is only allegations and nothing further. It hasn't been proved in the court of law whether Alex is guilty or not, so for legal reasons, despite how convincing the evidence may seem, I'm going to be referring to all of this as alleged.
I don't have a wife and kids, but if I did, they probably would annoy me. I mean, I would never know.
Now, when it's too fucking late, you admit that you did everything fucking wrong. But when it actually matters, when you should lay down like a good fucking dog, you don't fucking do it, you fight for some reason. I don't know why you fight, because you're losing.
Having integrity is not something you should do because of the fact that it's going to make you less money but keep your career going on for a long time.
Just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend.
You're acting like
I
this is
didn't
all
mean
just
it.
me, and that's something you really
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick.
I don't know, your boyfriend's a fucking famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because you might not have anything to fucking lose because your life might be down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give.
Oh, what would the world ever do without your JoJo Siwa dance reactions, Alex? Real talk though, if any YouTuber genuinely believes they are a celebrity, I believe they probably also move their panties to the side to let their girl peg them and drag toilet paper up their backs every time they go to wipe their ass. You know, as a YouTuber, it's a pretty accomplishing feeling to make a dream come true, but apparently Alex decided to make it a nightmare for the people around him, allegedly getting exposed for being an abusive monster towards his prior girlfriends, despite falsely accusing 3 different people of being abusive themselves, even though all of them ended up being proven innocent. You don't have to believe in karma, but I think Alex is a perfect example of watching somebody create a storm for themselves and then get mad when it rains. He's had it coming for a long time, and now despite me being later than a plan B period on this drama, the day Alex feared the most of his true nature being uncovered has finally dawned upon us. So I'm going to try to summarize everything that went down and highlight obvious signs he showed over the years that doesn't make the situation of Alex being a horrible person surprising in the slightest. So make sure to slap a like on this video before your dad slaps you. Subscribe if you hit my vibe. Also, I finally posted on Insta this year. The last time I did, I'm pretty sure the dodo bird went extinct. So make sure to run that post up as well. Alright, welcome back ladies and ladies with dicks. I'm Alex with another commentary YouTuber that reported on different dramas. Looks wise, you might see a friendly Dobby the house elf, but personality wise, this guy was exactly like the Homelander, putting on this heroic image but then does heinous shit behind the scenes that go against his own words. Honestly, I don't understand why anybody watched him from the start because his jokes were the equivalent of Caucasian coleslaw, just absolutely bland school counselor Facebook mom humor that almost makes Brendan Schaub watchable when you compare the two. I think the first weird thing he's ever publicly done was his own video he created on Howie Mandel, someone who is very publicly known for having chronic OCD that severely messes up his mental health on a daily basis. Alex thought that would be a perfect thing to point and laugh at, acknowledging Howie's disorder, but brushes it off as a giant joke.
Howie Mandel has a really crazy OCD type of thing.
True scholar. Let's see how you treat him now, knowing he has a serious, uncontrollable condition.
Oh, where's my extra laces? Or where's, some stuff in my shoes?
Yeah, he's lost his mind.
What Alex said may have been hard to listen to, but I absolutely love listening to my music and podcasts with Raycon's everyday earbuds. If you have been hesitant on buying yourself a pair, now is the best time because Raycon just released their updated earbuds that include ergonomic designs, always providing your ears comfort while wearing them, multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once, and active noise cancellation you can turn on whenever people try talking to you right when the beat is about to drop. There's many likable features about Raycon, but my favorite will always be their 32 hours of battery life to accompany me whenever I edit videos or to watch any video on YouTube. Another one is their lightning fast charging, providing 90 minutes of listening time every 10 minutes it charges. And Raycon doesn't only have the personality, they got the looks to back it up too, coming in a multitude of designs to find your perfect match, whether it be blush violet, royal blue, or a simple carbon black. And I haven't even covered the styles of their protective case to keep your earbuds safe if you accidentally drop them. So if you're interested in buying a pair of Raycon's everyday earbuds to fit your every use, please check the description or go to buyraycon.com/BriZ to get 15% off and free shipping. Alright, now let's get back to the vid.
Why is he coming out with that? I know he's a germaphobe. I've read up about it because I was worried that maybe he had been kidnapped, and I thought better figure out whether he has or not. Don't want to do a video on a man and it turns out he has been kidnapped. That wouldn't look very good. I don't want to take the mick out of somebody. So instead, I'm taking the mick out of somebody who's just got germophobia.
Stop lying. You didn't look up jack and shit because you're unable to do any kind of research. You labeled his mental condition as germophobia and decided to be a douchebag about something he can't control. But don't worry, it's not like I'm the first to say this because 10 seconds later, Alex would just casually admit he was being an asshole for no reason, with a giant smile on his face proceeding to make fun of him more.
So instead, I'm taking the mick out of somebody who's just got germophobia, which also makes me horrible. Not looking so good so far in this one. That's completely fine. In fact, I understand it. I've got my mask somewhere, right? I care about this stuff. I do.
I feel like any rational person would have gotten up to turn the camera off after coming to that self-epitome, but nope, he just kept the show rolling, pretending to not process what he just said or simply shrug it off as nothing. Besides being a malnourished little cave goblin that feeds off of suffering, his videos are always loaded up with wonky-tonky Nickelodeon sitcom sound effects that play every single time he tells a joke, because he knows how bland they are without them. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind a meme sprinkled in here or there, but this motherfucker would cocomelon the hell out of his vids, being a stock effect blare through your eardrums every 5 seconds.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex and welcome back. I've actually never recorded a video in this frame. I've always been recording from the insane asylum. I'm joking, obviously. I record in my bedroom, happily at home in my bedroom, just like Howie Mandel. Although
So he's terribly unfunny. I mean, that's a reason not to like him, but surely not to hate him, right? Well, let's get to the 3 separate times Alex threw false accusations at people. First, starting with the YouTuber Zaptai, he was painted to be this sick minor refiner by mainly Alex and was thought of being caught messaging underage people. Turns out the one girl who came forward about the story lied about her age, which was met with proof clearing Zaptai of the sudden allegations. Alex was one of the first people to make a video against Zaptai, which weirdly enough was his own friend at the time, and had many collaboration videos with each other. So let's just pretend you're a YouTuber that has other friends in the space. If one of your friends suddenly faced Diddy allegations with no solid proof, I'm sure your first thought wouldn't be to hit your friend with a nice 1-2 fuck you combo and completely slander his name for your own personal gain. That's exactly what Alex did, except much worse, because he became the face or symbol of Zaptai's cancel crusade. When the time did come where the girl revealed the whole story to be a lie, any other YouTuber that accused Zaptai was quick to sincerely apologize to him except one person. I'm sure you can take a wild guess of who that would be. That's right, I'm the slow-thinking twink Alex. He ended up making some sort of half-ass apology long after everyone else, where he blamed everybody but himself for posting an exposed video on his own YouTube channel. Felt like this has to be said. Fake allegations shouldn't be tolerated. It's like having Michael Vick doing a PSA on animal abuse. You are absolutely the last person that has the right to say this stupid-ass statement. It's honestly a miracle your channel was being tolerated for as long as it has, considering half of your content is just creating false allegations anyways. The next friend Alex would decide to give a hands-free colonoscopy to would be the YouTuber Slazo. Again, this was somebody relatively close to Alex at one time. I believe the two lived together and made a bunch of videos with each other as well. Whenever allegations started coming against Slazo having sexual misconduct with his ex-girlfriend, Alex didn't bother to reach out to him once throughout the entire ordeal, instantly taking the girl's side, calling his friend some perverted freak based off what he's seen on Twitter. When just yesterday the two were letting out their happy hollers and seductively grabbing each other's collars in a try not to laugh challenge. If you disagreed for 1 second about anything Alex was saying or didn't have one thought that matched up with his, he would automatically just classify you as a predator as well. After a month of the entire drama being dismissed, Alex would finally deliver some half-assed corporate PR pushed apology again, and you don't even have to read that much of it to realize he wasn't apologizing to save some grace, he was doing it to save his golem-shaped face and the YouTube career he has behind it. He knew doubling down on his friend's accusations, despite them being cleared, would make him look like a mouth-breathing, crayon-crunching, nipless Neanderthal, so he apologized to not make himself look more of a fuck-ass than he already was. He swallowed his pride and memeless cock in order to save his future on the internet.
She asked specifically at one point, when everything was going down, because one of the things people get confused by is like they thought it was a big conspiracy theory.
Right.
Like we all got together privately and we're like, we're gonna ruin his life. No, what happened? So I was thinking, all right, so if this is something that it wasn't phrased to me as like this is accused. It's like we know this is and I don't see a problem with that in the sense that.
Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Klingon speaker on standby to translate whatever words Alex just verbally queeped out of his mouth. It was like watching the Biden debate if they were all overdosing off of Xanax. But I am fluent in Fuanese, and you getting together with other YouTubers in some Legion of Doom meeting to take down Slazo is exactly what happened. You're lying straight through your disheveled British teeth. It's remarkable how you appoint the blame to her friends and the other YouTubers. It's always everyone in the world is at fault for the fires you ignite, Alex.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm 20 years old. I should not have this come to my doorstep. But it's this really odd thing where everybody was like, oh, you just shouldn't have done anything about it.
It didn't just appear at your doorstep. You dragged that thing all the way to your bedroom and started hippie humping it. You were the main one to push all this out, and now you're trying to claim this shit was suddenly dropped off at your desk. Couldn't have seen it coming when you planned it all out. Last person he would falsely accuse would be James Charles. Not really shocking now, but at the time, James was hit with allegations of him being an absolute semen demon towards boys that weren't of age. None of this would be proven at the current moment, but Alex, who had friendly relations with James in the past, maybe he was the other guy getting slobbered up in that Ferris Ferris wheel, who knows. But he instantly jumped the gun and made a video bashing James, even though he's admitted to him being a friend of his in the past, making it the third time he backstabbed them for his own benefit.
It's the next part of this which really made me incredibly uncomfortable when I listened to it, and it's been even worse since then because Twitter has been an absolute firestorm recently. And that's the fact that she directly calls out James Charles' behaviour being predatory towards straight men. He literally said because he's famous, he can literally do what he wants to this man who is straight, who is just doing his job for them. I'm a celebrity, I can do whatever I want. Now that could be a joke, a really terrible joke, but if you actually look at all the evidence, at this point I think it's undeniable that is what's been going on.
So now that we reviewed how quickly Alex will turn into an abuse activist every chance he gets against his own friends, it's now time to travel to present day where Alex would decide to nibble on his own nuts instead of the hands that fed him. All of the manipulation and lies caught up to Alex because he would end up being allegedly exposed for being an abusive asshole himself. With video proof of him berating his partner down to make her feel completely useless, it was like almost taking a look at a marriage in the 1950s, making threats to bash her head against the wall over some small argument, and calling her the equivalent of a filthy dog that needs to lay down when she's told. All of this came out in an astonishing 82-page Google Doc from a tweet from his ex-girlfriend Alice, which says, "Here's my statement on the situation I've been scared to speak out on. It's best it was made public how horrible this person with a platform is. I hate to see another woman go through this." Just want to repeat, this is all still allegedly. I put that in heavy quotations because of all the clips I'm about to show. It's gonna make it very hard to see Alex's side. Honestly, from looking at the appearances she made in videos, it already looked like she was being held at gunpoint, so maybe we were just missing the signs. This doc had multiple videos of Alex having some sort of psychotic meltdown over his girlfriend on text and Discord calls, apparently. I mean, we really are living in a new age. This man got fully dressed, combed his hair to look presentable for the camera, all just to scream at his wife.
Just do the normal route, which is just do the normal route, but a normal girlfriend
Yeah,
would do.
acting
And
like
go,
this is
I didn't
all
mean
just
it.
me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you fucked this.
I thought you didn't like JoJo. Why you just start hitting the Siwa shuffle? I would be more intimidated by Big Gay Al from South Park over any threats this little wet weasel has to give. I'll never take anyone seriously that does a Justin Bieber hair flip mid-argument. Like, you already lost for thinking you did something right there. Flap your hair right after you flapped your little arms around like a fucking chicken trying to fly. So let's get to the beginning of all this. Alice would post a statement for everybody to read first, going over how the relationship started, how it got bad, and how it ended, and then began again over 50 times due to Alex's manipulation of reeling her back, crying on his hands and knees, begging for her to return. Mentions of SA, self-harm, depression, and assault. This is a sensitive subject for me as I struggle to figure out how to put it into words. I have been threatened by Alex to not come out with anything at all and to keep quiet, or he will create a contradicting story to discredit my own, but I'm not scared anymore. Alex is apparently trying to create some nuclear warfare with Alice, trying to give the impression that if he's going down apparently with the dirt he has on her, she's going down with him. Now, I know these situations take a lot of time, but it's already been a couple weeks and Alex has not said one word or even breath towards defending himself in this at all, making it really hard to hear his story out when there's not even a story to begin with. And even if her threats weren't bluffs and were actually true, then they're just both batshit crazy. Either way, if she's deranged or not, it still doesn't make Alex's behavior look any better. We started dating and giving 100% of our attention, time, and effort with no arguments. After that, some time passed and small things became huge issues, which were over Discord at first. Alex felt that because I am home all day and work from home that I would be able to call 24/7 and completely shut out any social interactions I have with my friends. Which, you know, kind of leaves me confused because isn't that exactly his job as well? To sit around at home all day to make your piss poor content like the rest of us commentary socially awkward hobgoblins. So I'm drawing and shooting a big fat blank trying to figure out why you getting pressed over your girl working from home when you do the exact same shit. Telling her to fuck off when you're busy but begging and pleading for her attention at once when she is? You probably grew up with a loving family, flowers in the back garden, a full group of friends you backstabbed, a successful channel with millions of subscribers, all to still act like a lonely orphan that got dumped off at the side of a highway. Alice would continue on saying the arguments between them got worse to the point where Alex would turn his cam on and start yelling at her, which is where the infamous clip of him throwing some toddler tantrum came from.
Oh, when it's too fucking late, you admit that you did everything fucking wrong. But when it actually matters, when you should lay down like a good fucking dog, you don't fucking do it. You fight for some reason. I don't know why you fight, because you're losing, because you end up admitting that you fucked it all up anyway. So it's just fucking weird. And I know that you're going to end up admitting that you fucked it all up.
Now, this clip doesn't exactly explain what led up to all this, but I'm finding it difficult to justify him getting this irate over what seems to be an issue in their relationship. Pretty sure a healthy relationship is good communication on both sides instead of just screaming spit in her face like a drill sergeant whenever you have a disagreement. Unless this woman was some avatar the dick bender cheating on him every night, I can't see a predicament that would make what Alex says here is right. It doesn't only stop there. Alex would continue to say his girlfriend was worthless and whatever issue she had going on didn't matter because he is a YouTube star. Just saying that out loud sounds pathetic, but let's hear Alex say it himself.
And you think you can just fucking ignore them because like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know. Your boyfriend's a fucking famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because he has to keep his circle small. Because you might not have anything to fucking lose, because your life might be down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give.
I'm sorry, what do you exactly have to give to people again? Because it's sure as hell not entertainment. I would like to think I showed my personality a lot on the channel over the years, but Alex I feel like has zero personality. He uses humor you would hear grandmas use at a retirement home. You don't have one clip of a shit to give to people besides false news you've conducted out of your 5 minutes of research on Twitter. Being a YouTuber doesn't surpass you into some Greek god status. You're a room-dwelling loser that begs for attention at the end of the day. And if you thought Alex was done sucking himself off, you would be wrong because he would continue to blow bubbles on it, calling himself a professional in a world full of stupid amateurs.
Point where it's actually really hard to follow what I'm saying because it's so flexible. I've gone, you could do this, but you might be able to do that, but you might be able to do that, and you might be able to do this, and this might work, but you might be able to do that. And it sounds fucking mental. I don't even understand how you could possibly actually follow along to it. Like most of my friends struggle to actually understand what I'm saying. But that's why I'm a professional and you're all not.
Since I went over all of the video clips, let's move on to the giant Harry Potter novel worth of text walls that shows Alex continuing to have multiple freakouts for apparently no good reason. Obviously, I won't be covering every single text because you would probably grow out a full beard and develop cobwebs in your ass crack by the time I'm done. So let's just go off the most important, or what I would call the most damning ones, that shows Alex pretty much turning completely feral. Alice would start this off by saying, "I'm with everyone, but I can leave. Don't worry, I'll just go to bed. Lol. What a day. I guess everyone else has something better to do. Nobody wants me around. It's class. I love this. Love it." I know the concept of friendship is very hard to get through your Fort Myers reinforced thick skull, Alex, but some people actually enjoy their friends and actually want to spend time with them instead of spending every waking moment figuring out every possible way to backstab them. Just an absolute man-child. At least grab a wipe to stop the pussy juice running down your leg for the next time you want to start bitching. Here, Alex is just spamming her to join some Discord call. Just straight up looks like he's chanting a curse for her ass to fall in because he says it about a good 50 times. Apparently they were in some sort of argument here by the looks of it. Definitely looks one-sided, but Alice would reply back to this meltdown with, "You can't give me 10 minutes to calm down, then talk?" Alex would go back with, "Am I a mind reader? You hung up on me before I could say anything, you fucking retard. You knew. Stop calling me shit, Alex. How much that pissed me off. Cry, I don't care." Wouldn't be surprised if the next thing that left his mouth was about how his dad works for Microsoft. I mean, you can't tell me this isn't some shit a 12-year-old would say on Xbox Live after going 3-17 on Team Deathmatch. He tries so hard to build this threatening aura around him to seem intimidating, but he always ends up turning out like Spandam from One Piece. It's impossible to take what he says seriously. Idiot, talk, yawn. You text like a retard, so call me. You say everything wrong on text because you're stupid, so call me. Nope, I'm not. Yes, you clearly are. Bye. F you, weird effing idiot. F you. Wow, that's rich. It's almost like you're doing the same exact thing you try to get 3 people canceled over. So much for the wholesome savior of a reputation you decide to put on, because this text looks like a meth deal gone bad. Just being a complete spastic over virtually nothing. Also, how is she the one texting like a tard? Just look at yourself. You say one word over and over with drool flying out of your mouth like a special ed kid trying to grab a piece of candy. And one last great measure to show Alex's maturity, Alice simply says the only reason she didn't decide to call him was because of himself endlessly hurling insults towards her, which Alex completely ignored and kept doing anyways. Stop fucking talking over me. You're unbearable to talk to. I can't cope with it. I'm annoying for saying I still want to see you. Oh my god, shut the F up. I mean, he's treating this hoe like she's some sort of poltergeist that's haunting him. Why is he that mad? I mean, he's so pissed he can't even type out his words correctly, like watching a rabid animal choke on its own foam. I just don't understand what could have possibly sparked this sort of reaction over something so minuscule. Christ, he probably has a Winter Soldier episode every time a cashier asks to put his milk in the bag too. I swear, from what we've seen, any question that requires Alex's brain to even remotely think think automatically fills his whole body with rage. Alice would continue on saying she would start to get breakup threats over assumptions of her interacting with other men, only for her to find a bunch of old nudes of Alex's past girlfriends saved in his phone. After screaming at me in calls and disregarding everything I've ever said, he would explain how it is always my fault and that I should apologize, that I should fix it and fight for him after he has made it worse by completely dehumanizing and degrading me. I would get breakup threats because I interacted with my followers' tweets, which I would then apologize for after he made it very clear he was upset but demands more from me. This would be followed by him continuing to call me a bitch and threatening I'm going to refollow everyone I unfollowed for you if you're going to be like that. Which, by the way, later I found he was still interacting with many people he has old relations with, and found him stalking his ex with old nudes in his phone. I mean, I just can't believe this is how Alex is supposedly treating someone he quote-unquote loves, just using her as a fleshlight and something to take his anger out on. It's really quite pathetic because the entire principle of relationship is to rely on each other to feel safe and comfortable with one another. But Alex's balding ass made this relationship feel like the damn Split movie, not knowing what personality she's going to talk to next. We've seen how Alex has always been against abuse and how that turned out, but I'm sure you didn't know he was hugely against racism as well, always wanting to fight for the equality of our races and seeing slurs as unspeakable taboo that should be abolished. Well, what if I told you there's video footage of Alex calling his girlfriend the N-word, who is also white, by the way? So honestly, I don't know what kind of dynamic this relationship even is.
And then you look like a fucking miserable fucking little cunt all the time. Like, your face is annoying to look at, like when I come downstairs. Like, I'm actually fed up of looking at you. Which is why I sleep downstairs, so I don't want to have to go upstairs and, oh, you're taking all the covers. It's like, fucking woman just like fucking asked me to buy another one. Like, you don't clean up after yourself. Nigga, neither do you. So, leave it. It's fine.
For context, the girl recorded this on her phone, which moved around a lot in her pocket, which is why it currently sounds like there's an ongoing avalanche in the background. And the N-word isn't even all. He's called out people for being ableist despite using the word retard every 3 seconds. This guy goes against literally everything he preaches about online. It's incredible. He turns on the camera and projects what he's done on other people's drama. So we've completely skipped the good, got right to the bad, but let's get to the downright ugly. If you already thought Alex took this way too far, he would decide to take it a whole dimension further. Alice would go on to say, at this point, it was the second time he'd hurt me and I was so scared. I texted my friend to pick me up as I started packing. He follows me around the house, screaming random things at me, trying to justify his actions for going so far. I recorded this because I was scared he would hit me again. I say nothing and I am panicking to the point where I started sweating in fear as he was following me, screaming at me, calling me the N-word and useless. So this all went down in the last clip that I just showed with their phone being in the pocket. After I left, I picked up my things after he threatened to throw them outside. A $4,000 setup. I found everything on the floor and taken apart. The keyboard was smashed and scattered everywhere. He claimed the keys have fallen off the keyboard when he was packing it all away. When I got home and plugged everything in, I found the monitor screens were both smashed to bits, the keyboard broken along with the camera too. And she was not shy to show pictures. God damn, it looks like a hurricane done whirled through the room. He made sure not to miss a spot. Definitely was not exaggerating, like a Christian mom walking into her son watching hentai. Horrible stuff to go through to live in fear from the one person you're supposed to trust, but it gets worse. Whenever the two went on a holiday trip together, a conversation struck about Alice's past experiences getting SA'd. And instead of consoling her, Alex would be filled with jealousy over the thought of other people getting to abuse her besides him. We ended up going on a holiday together to Italy in July, and an argument came about when he was watching a video about a girl being hypersexual after trauma. I opened up to him about my SA and the trauma that I've been through myself. In response to this, he tells me he doesn't want to know what has been done to me by other guys, and I ended up leaving into another room crying. He threatened to leave and get a flight back on his own. Taking into account this is only my third time aboard, and he knew that it would make me very upset and scared, like he knew I needed him there with me. How is that your first thought to your girl opening up to something that traumatic, is just to have this hoodville mentality, seeing her as a hoe for letting herself get groped? I mean, he's acting like she had the door busted open with the lights on waiting. She was sharing a very sensitive story with you, and you instantly brushed it off because the bad news was going to ruin your vacation? Then she posts some text of what Alex said after she told him about it. Cause you're fucking weird, bringing up weird shit on our first holiday, ruin every moment. Let's get to the end of this shit show where they finally break up. Mind you, Alex has been the one who's threatened to do it as a final outro almost every night, saying he doesn't want her to be in his life anymore, or even alive in general, all over text. So Alice decided to make that very dream come true by breaking up with him. And you would think Alex would be skipping around the tulip fields, finally being free from the chains Alice somehow threw on him. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth, because Alex would rather have a manic episode sobbing over his own snot, begging for her to come back. What do I do then? Stop being mean. Okay, I'm sorry. sorry. Can we call? Just 5 minutes. Apology and then I'll go. Okay, I'll stop texting you, give you space. I fucked this. Good morning, have a good day, I miss you a lot. This is the most obvious tactic in the book because narcissists want complete control over every aspect they can over you. So once they start to realize they're losing it, they'll start to talk all lovey-dovey to win your heart back. If anyone out there ever comes across a relationship similar to this, take this as your one and only chance to run. After I think getting blocked, Alex would go on a burner account on Instagram to try to get into contact with her. And if that wasn't enough, he would start sending this woman handwritten love letters to her front door. I mean, this is some shit you would find out of the show You. I mean, hell, I'm sure her MySpace from 2007 got blown the fuck up too. Just really sad looking at him try this hard over something he entirely caused himself. There was one last story about Alice actually sticking up for herself, slapping Alex in the middle of an argument. Showing that story on screen now. This video is already long enough as it is, but for a little TLDR, Alex tried demeaning her, ended up getting pimp slapped, and started crying whenever she started to leave. Honestly, I think that wraps this video up here. As of the time that I'm recording this, no official response from him has been made at all, not even a peep or mutter. So seeing his side is going to be very challenging, especially with his video evidence of himself already violating the very things he speaks against on his videos. Emallexx and the other e-boys have posted their own response announcing themselves completely severing ties from Alex, wishing Alice the best after hearing her story. I know people can hide abuse very well, but a small part of me thinks at least someone from that group knew what was going on, especially with Emallexx sharing a time living with Alex. All of his channels are currently collecting nothing but musty old dust. In the last month, his channel has already lost over 100,000 subscribers, and this situation isn't going to be a little fender bender for him. His career is straight up totaled. 2 more allegations with evidence have already surfaced claiming to have an abusive relationship with Alex as well. So if you guys want to see a part 2, make sure to slap a like on this video before your dad slaps you. Subscribe to hit my vibe and make sure to follow all my socials, especially my Insta. Go run that post up. Wasn't really trying to cover this vid in jokes because the topic is very sensitive, but I think the upcoming Jack Doherty part 4 video will serve y'all right. Anyhow, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you all next week. Alright, I'm gonna head out this bitch.